Tonight, we examine the story of Steve Friend, a former FBI special agent whose name has become synonymous with controversy and debate in recent years. Friend's career, once marked by dedication and service, became a lightning rod for national attention after a series of dramatic events. His journey with the FBI came to an abrupt and definitive end on December 12, 2025, when the Bureau terminated his employment after months of internal conflict and public scrutiny. Once a respected member of the FBI's SWAT team, Friend's career took a sharp and unexpected turn in 2022. That year, he raised serious concerns about the FBI's handling of the January 6th investigations, questioning both the methods and the motivations behind the Bureau's actions. He alleged that the Bureau was manipulating case statistics and employing aggressive tactics, not for justice, but for political reasons, a claim that would ignite fierce debate, both inside and outside the agency. Friend's objections, which began as private concerns voiced through official channels, soon spilled into the public arena. This act of whistleblowing transformed him into a polarizing figure, hailed by some as a courageous truth-teller, and denounced by others as a rule-breaker undermining the Bureau's integrity. His case shines a spotlight on the immense risks and personal costs faced by those who challenge powerful institutions from within, especially in an era of heightened political tension. Friend's actions have been championed by critics of the FBI, who see him as a symbol of accountability, while others within law enforcement and beyond view his conduct as a serious breach of protocol and trust. The FBI cited unprofessional conduct as the reason for his dismissal, focusing on his public statements and activities after he became a national figure, and emphasizing the importance of maintaining internal discipline. In this episode, we'll examine the FBI's official stance, the arguments made by Friend's former legal advocates, and Friend's own claims that he was the target of retaliation for speaking out. Our goal is to clarify the sequence of events and the motivations that led to this decisive action by the FBI, separating fact from speculation. Was this a straightforward matter of discipline, or does it reveal deeper issues within the Bureau and its culture? The answers lie in the details of Steve Friend's turbulent final years with the FBI. Join us as we unravel the complexities of his story and the storm that followed. To understand Friend's firing, we return to the summer of 2022, a time when tensions within the FBI were quietly building beneath the surface. At that point, Friend was a special agent based in Daytona Beach, Florida, tasked with making arrests related to the January 6th Capitol riot. The work was high-profile, politically charged, and under intense scrutiny from both the public and within the agency itself. Friend began to question the methods being used. He believed the FBI was not only violating the constitutional rights of suspects, but also manipulating domestic terrorism statistics for political purposes, a stance that put him at odds with his superiors. When ordered to participate in a raid, Friend refused, citing his ethical concerns. He formally documented his objections, alleging the use of excessive force and serious constitutional violations in the Bureau's approach. The FBI responded swiftly and decisively, suspending Friend, revoking his security clearance, and launching an internal investigation into his conduct. The message was clear: dissent would not be tolerated. During his suspension, Friend decided to go public. He shared his story with Congress and the media, claiming he was being retaliated against for exposing what he saw as serious wrongdoing within the agency. For months, Friend remained on unpaid leave, caught in a state of limbo, unable to return to work, yet not officially dismissed. The uncertainty took a toll on his finances and his sense of purpose. By February 2023, the pressure became too much. Facing mounting financial strain and what he described as a hostile work environment, Friend made the difficult decision to resign from the FBI. His resignation freed him to speak openly, and he quickly emerged as a prominent critic of the FBI's leadership and investigative tactics, drawing national attention to his case. Friend's story resonated with many Americans who were already questioning the Bureau's integrity and transparency, sparking heated debates in the media and among lawmakers. His actions set the stage for a much larger debate about the role of whistleblowers and the need for institutional accountability within powerful government agencies. The conflict between personal conviction and professional duty was now out in the open, challenging the FBI's culture and sparking conversations nationwide. Friend's next chapter would be shaped by shifting political winds, as his story became a touchstone in the ongoing debate over law enforcement and civil liberties. But, for now, his law enforcement career seemed over. Or, so it appeared, leaving open the question of what comes next for those who challenge the system from within. The 2024 presidential election brought dramatic change. With Donald Trump's return to the White House, the administration promised to reform agencies like the FBI and support whistleblowers. In September 2025, Steve Friend was unexpectedly reinstated as an FBI special agent. This move was part of a broader review of personnel actions against those claiming retaliation. Friend's return was seen as vindication by his supporters, but it came with new challenges. Now a public figure, he was bound by strict FBI rules, limiting media contact. Despite reinstatement, Friend continued his public commentary, maintaining a podcast and social media presence. This open defiance of bureau policy set up a new conflict. The FBI, even under new leadership, faced an agent unwilling to stay silent. The question was not if, but when, the bureau would act. The stage was set for a final showdown. On December 12, 2025, Friend received his official termination letter, marking the end of his career with the FBI after months of uncertainty and internal review. The FBI's stated reasons for firing Friend centered on his conduct following his reinstatement, not on his original whistleblowing activities, which had drawn national attention. According to the letter, Friend had demonstrated a pattern of unprofessional behavior, with particular emphasis on his unauthorized interactions with the media and repeated disregard for internal protocols. The Bureau reminded that FBI agents are strictly prohibited from making public comments about Bureau matters without prior approval, a rule designed to protect ongoing investigations and the agency's integrity. Friend's continued public statements, including frequent posts on social media and regular commentary on his personal podcast, were cited as clear and repeated violations of these established rules. The Bureau argued that his actions not only undermined sensitive investigations, but also disrupted the established chain of command, creating confusion and mistrust within the agency. The message was clear. Regardless of his whistleblowing, Friend's conduct as a reinstated agent was deemed unacceptable by the Bureau's leadership. The FBI framed the firing as a matter of professional discipline, emphasizing that it was not an act of political retaliation or retribution for his earlier disclosures. In their view, Friend's increasingly public persona and outspoken criticism made it impossible for him to function as an effective and impartial agent within the Bureau. The official justification was unambiguous. Established rules and codes of conduct had been broken, and the consequences were unavoidable. This decision set the stage for a heated legal and public debate, with both sides preparing to defend their actions and reputations. The central question remained, was this truly a case of professional discipline, or was it payback for speaking out? The FBI's termination letter highlighted one incident above all. In November 2025, Friend used his podcast to discuss an ongoing FBI case, naming and showing a photo of an alleged subject. This violated Bureau protocols designed to protect privacy and due process. The FBI argued that Friend's actions could irreparably harm reputations and compromise investigations. By acting as a public commentator, he crossed a line from whistleblower to pundit, speculating without evidence. The November podcast was the tipping point, providing the Bureau with a concrete example of misconduct. Friend's continued employment, the FBI argued, was untenable. The incident became the centerpiece of the Bureau's case against him. For the FBI, this was not just a policy violation, it was a breach of law enforcement ethics. The consequences were immediate and final. Friend's fate was sealed. Just a week before his firing, Friend lost a crucial ally. Empower Oversight, the non-profit that had provided him legal counsel, withdrew its support on December 5, 2025. The group cited Friend's repeated refusal to follow their advice, specifically, to stop commenting publicly on FBI matters. They warned that his actions gave the Bureau legitimate grounds for termination, separate from his whistleblowing. Their letter was blunt. They could no longer represent a client who ignored strategic counsel. The withdrawal was a major blow, signaling that even whistleblower advocates found his conduct problematic. When the FBI fired him, they pointed to Empower Oversight's warnings as further justification. This complicated Friend's narrative of pure retaliation. His own choices, it seemed, played a direct role in his dismissal. The loss of legal support left him isolated at a critical moment. Despite the FBI's stated reasons and his legal team's withdrawal, Friend insists his firing was retaliation. He claims the Bureau used policy violations as a pretext to silence a critic. Friend argues that the FBI's culture is hostile to dissent, regardless of leadership. He believes rules about media contact were enforced more harshly against him because of his whistleblower status. For Friend and his supporters, the November podcast was an excuse, not the cause. They see his firing as a warning to other would-be whistleblowers. The debate: was this discipline or was it retribution? Before his final termination, Friend took his case to Congress. In May 2023, he testified before a House subcommittee investigating federal agency abuses. Under oath, he detailed his objections to the FBI's January 6 tactics and the consequences he faced. Lawmakers critical of the FBI saw him as a courageous truth-teller. His testimony entered his allegations into the public record, fueling calls for reform. The FBI denied his claims, but Friend's words echoed in Washington. His role shifted from disgruntled employee to formal congressional witness. This testimony remains central to the debate over his firing. As of December 15, 2025, Steve Friend is no longer an FBI agent. He's now a private citizen and outspoken critic, free from bureau constraints. Legal action against the FBI may follow, opening a new chapter. The central question remains: was his firing justified discipline or calculated retaliation? The FBI points to clear rule violations and warnings from his own legal team. Friend's supporters argue the system is rigged against whistleblowers. Can dissenters ever truly return to the institutions they challenge? Friend's story is a test case for whistleblower protections in federal agencies. The facts are clear, but their meaning is hotly contested. In the end, the truth may depend on which narrative you believe: undisciplined agent or silenced whistleblower.